Hello, my name is Ivan the tow truck. Today I will rant on kids cheering sound effect. I will show you to 30 reasons of it. Anyways, here I go. 1. Sound is the worst. 2. It is so annoying. 3. It hurts my ears. 4. It came out in 1999. Reason 1. It was heard in Shining Dawn, which the video that used the sound called The Vicious Cycle of Sonic Games. Even though I like Sonic the Hedgehog, when the title says winner the sound begins to come up. Reason 2. It was heard in Kirby is an F word. Monster from Star Rodman. Even I like Kirby, when the title says bye bye in the end the sound begins to come up. Reason 3. It was heard in a video called I Wonder If You Two Kids is Safe, when the text is saying they're made a special app to protect kids from violence. The sound begins to come up. Reason 4. It was heard in a Lucy Pretty Cure and Purple Crew Pals video called Lucy's 9th birthday. 2 times when Lucy blows out the candles the sound begins to come up, and it heard in second time. In a concert, when the song What I Like to Eat has ended the sound begins to come up again. Reason 5. It was heard in a Kid Boomers video called Simon Says when the cat says shout hooray, the sound begins to come up. Reason 6. It was heard in the video called Baldy Meets Miss Circle from Sam Illo's Even Though I Like Baldy and Miss Circle, when texts say friends, the sound begins to come up. Reason 7. It was heard in 2 Coco Melon videos called Freeze Dance and If You're Happy and You Know It. After when the song ended the sound begins to come up. Reason 8. It was heard in Dr. Willy video called Evolution of the Thwom, 1988 to 2017. When the text says fun announcement the sound begins to come up. Reason 9. It was heard in the Evian the Rainbow Girl video called Yes, Go Nimit for School Shutdown. The sound begins to come up in the beginning. Reason 10. It was heard in Mulpin's video called I'm Back, when text says July 20th 2020 100k sub, the sound begins to come up. Reason 11. It was heard in episode 7 of Wonderland when 3 says it worked, the sound begins to come up. Reason 12. It was heard in Max Design Pro's video called Oh My God Oh Yeah Okay video, when the monkey says okay 3 times the sound begins to come up. Reason 13. It was heard in a Doc McStuffin's Funny Story video when Doc wins up the gumball machine the sound begins to come up. Reason 14. It was heard in a Shopkins ad called Happy Places from 2016. Even though Shopkins is a good franchise, when a female announcer shows anything the sound begins to come up. Reason 15. It was heard in Guava Juice video called Jello Bath Challenge, when the text says 10 hours later the sound begins to come up. Reason 16. It was heard in Jumpizaki video when the comment says her name is Lola, Start Remix, the sound begins to come up. Reason 17. It was heard in the Moflix commercial in 2023 3 times in a low volume like what the heck that's too much. Reason 18. It was heard in a video called Roblox Makes Greedy Update, when the text saying thankfully it turns out this is still impossible because Roblox has yet again made mindless typo in the choose the sound begins to come up. Reason 19. It was heard in Red Rollo video called Pac-Man vs. the Ghost Giant Domino Race. Even though I like Pac-Man, when the text says winner loser the sound begins to come up. Reason 20. It was heard in a Marshmallow OK video called Princess Skylar Reaps the Sinners after she fall down the stairs the sound begins to come up. Reason 21. It was heard in World of Dandy video called Outdated Tech is Angry Dandy's World Hide and Seek game, when the text says Block wins, the sound begins to come up.
World of Dandy, if you're watching this, stop using a KCSFX from Sound Ideas.
Now back to my rant. Reason 22. It was heard Crazy Crawler's video called Flu Shot Madness, the sound begins to come up in the beginning. Reason 23. It was heard in Jumpizaki again video called Trying UK Food after the guy said United Kingdom the sound begins to come up. Reason 24. It was heard in video called Doofy the Dragon intro, after they said Doofy the Dragon the sound begins to come up. Reason 25. It was heard video called Annoying Orange but I ruined it after the knife said hey guys I'm the knife the sound begins to come up. Reason 26. It was heard Dory Roblox video when The word noobs popped up, the sound begins to come up. Reason 27, it was heard in Jumpizaki for the third time video when the comment says Q and a time the sound begins to come up. Reason 28, it was heard in a top spot video called Guess the TV show theme song. When the timer runs out, when you get the answer correct, the sound begins to come up 24 times. Reason 29, it was heard in a Twice music video called Likely 5 time in a low volume. What the heck, that's too much.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. The final reason KCSFX was used.
Reason 30, it was heard in multicolor video called Happy New Year. When the number says 2025, the sound begins to come up. Man, I hope the KC sound effect gets deleted soon. Do you know who liked the sound effect? Sprunky, he liked the sound effect. Do you know who hate the sound effect? Ivan the tow truck and tow mater. End of rant.